Disclosure. This educational content has been developed using artificial intelligence.
Selma Lagerlöf, the storyteller who conquered the world. What does it take to become a legend? Is it genius? Is it luck? Or is it a resilience so profound that it can reshape the very world around you? Imagine a young girl, at just 3 years old, suddenly struck by a mysterious illness. The doctors are baffled. Her family is terrified. She becomes paralyzed, unable to walk or play like other children. Confined to her home, her only escape are the stories told by her grandmother and aunt. In those tales of heroes and magic, of Vikings and fairy folk, a world of infinite possibility opened up. For her, that little girl was Selma Lagerlöf, and from a life that seemed defined by limitation, she would not only learn to walk again, she would walk onto the world stage to make history, becoming the first woman ever to win the Nobel Prize in Literature. This is the story of how a quiet, unassuming woman from the Swedish countryside used the power of her imagination to change the course of history. Selma Ottilia Lovisa Lagerlöf was born in 1858 at Makarbacka, a beautiful estate in the province of Värmland, Sweden. But her idyllic childhood was shattered by the paralysis that struck her at age 3. For years, she was a prisoner in her own body. While her siblings ran through the fields, Selma's universe was the interior of her home, her companions the characters from Swedish folklore and the Bible. It was here, in this forced stillness, that her vivid imagination, as the Nobel Committee would later call it, was forged. She wasn't just listening to stories, she was learning the ancient architecture of narrative. She was discovering how a story could carry you, heal you, and make you whole. Then, a miracle. At around age 9, after years of various treatments, she slowly regained the ability to walk. It was a testament to a physical resilience that mirrored the strength of spirit she was developing. But the girl who emerged was different. She was quiet, observant, and carried within her a deep well of stories waiting to be told. As a young woman from a family facing financial difficulties, Selma needed a profession. Against her father's wishes, she pursued higher education and became a teacher for a decade. She taught in a girls' school in the town of Landskrona. It was a respectable, stable life, but her dream of writing never faded. The turning point came in 1890. She entered the first 5 chapters of a novel into a literary contest and won. The following year, at the age of 33, her first novel, Gösta Berling's Saga, was published, and the literary world was scandalized. This was the era of strict realism. Writers were supposed to document society, to show life as it was. But Selma's work was something entirely different. It was a romantic epic, brimming with the supernatural, folklore, and a deep, spiritual connection to the Swedish landscape. The critics were harsh. They called it unrealistic, frivolous, and naive. But the public fell in love. They were captivated by this fresh, imaginative voice that harkened back to the old sagas. Despite the criticism, or perhaps because of it, Selma made a courageous decision. She left her teaching job to write full-time, risking everything on her unique gift. Her resilience was about to pay off on a global scale, with subsequent works like The Wonderful Adventures of Nils, a geography textbook for Swedish schools, that she magically transformed into a beloved story about a boy who flies across Sweden on the back of a goose. Selma Lagerlöf became a national icon. Her fame grew internationally. Her lofty idealism and spiritual perception resonated with readers everywhere. And then, in 1909, the unthinkable happened. A telegram arrived. Selma Lagerlöf had been awarded the Nobel Prize in Literature. She was the first woman. Let that sink in over a century of the world's most prestigious literary award. No woman had ever been deemed worthy. The press went wild. The announcement praised the lofty idealism, vivid imagination, and spiritual perception that characterize her writings. When she traveled to Stockholm to receive the prize, it wasn't just a victory for her. It was a victory for every girl who had ever been told her dreams were too big. She was no longer just Selma Lagerlöf, the girl who couldn't walk. She was Selma Lagerlöf, the woman who had walked into history. And what did she do with the prize money? In a move that speaks volumes about her character, she used the funds to buy back her beloved childhood home, Macrabaka, which her family had been forced to sell. She had not only reclaimed her legacy, she had secured it for generations to come. But Selma's story of resilience didn't end with the Nobel medal. She continued to write, becoming one of the most beloved authors in the world. And when the shadows of Nazism fell over Europe in her final years, this gentle storyteller became a figure of moral courage. She helped secure a visa for the German Jewish poet Nelly Sachs, likely saving her life, and spoke out against the regime, using her immense stature as a shield for what was right. She proved that resilience isn't just about overcoming personal hardship. It's about using the platform you've earned to lift others up. When she passed away in 1940, Sweden mourned the loss of a national treasure. But her stories and her spirit are immortal. Selma Lagerlöf's life was a masterclass in resilience. She transformed physical limitation into imaginative freedom. She turned critical rejection into a catalyst for creating a whole new literary style. And she broke the ultimate glass ceiling, not with a shout, but with the power of her pen. She showed us that our greatest weaknesses can become the source of our greatest strengths. That the stories we tell to ourselves and to the world have the power to heal, to transform, and to triumph. Her journey reminds us why we tell these stories here on Women of Resilience. Because when women rise, history changes. She rose from a paralyzed child to a Nobel Laureate. And in doing so, she changed literature forever. Who will we feature next in our series of Unstoppable Women? Subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss her story. Thank you for watching.